Big Ron Shaw here, the Earl of Upsets, telling you to watch my friends, Monte and the Pharaoh, on Long Island's #1 wrestling podcast show, and soon to be the world's #1 wrestling podcast show. That is going to be a big upset.
All right, Jimmy, welcome back to another edition of the Howard Stern of Pro Wrestling, Monte the Pharaoh, seen out of Mike Monte's room and Jimmy Farrow's room. Jimmy, we got a special guest on tonight, probably an exclusive I'm excited for. Ribshot, the guy that's got the social media with the cartoons, and do we really call him cartoon? We call him animated series, right? Which is growing in popularity at a pretty high speed. So we're lucky enough to nail this guy and get him on the show. So I'm really excited. You want me to bring him in?
Why not?
All righty. Rib, welcome.
Hello, Monty. Hello, the Pharaoh. Excuse me.
Hello, hello. Other side of the pond. Checking in near what was it, south of London, you said?
South of London, mate. Yes.
There
How you guys doing?
Good. Hanging in.
Jimmy, what's amazing about this whole thing is this guy is a cartoon in real life. I thought he was going to be a human being, but we're looking at a cartoon. Well, does that insult you, Rib, that we call you a cartoon, or should we call you an animated figure?
To be honest, I'm not exclusive to what I can be called, mate. Cartoon, animated figure. I'm just a guy, really, to be honest with you.
Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt the animated figure, but I was really afraid to bring up that he's a cartoon because I know in the past you've wondered if I'm in need of psychiatric counseling. So basically, I was like, am I looking at an animated figure? And I'm also wondering, I once saw a great cartoon with Heckle and Jekyll. They realized that they were animated figures and that they could erase themselves at any given time. Are you able to do that to yourself?
Oh, yeah, but I would never erase myself.
Interesting.
I mean, I do have the power to do that to other people in my world.
Not us.
That's pretty. Not to be ridiculous here, but how were you born? Was you born from a person, or is someone drew you and you came to life? I mean,
my mother was a hard drive. My father was a motherboard.
Oh my God!
It should be the other way around, but yeah.
Well, thank God there wasn't a floppy disk involved.
Well, yeah. No.
I'm the only one with the floppy disk between my legs, dude. There ain't nothing going on
there. Hey, can you draw a floppy disk? You said you could do anything.
Yeah. Here you go.
Draw Mike's floppy disk.
I probably have to censor that. You can put that on YouTube.
Rib, congratulations on coming up with this incredible idea and building your social media in a fairly short time. Tell us, how did you come up with this idea? You would think, before you answer, that someone would have had the intelligence to do this, but no one did, and you're the first one actually going to market with this, right? I don't think this was done before.
Yeah, well, thank you, first of all. I mean, look, I kind of had this idea for a while before I even knew how to do it, how to animate. And my idea, a lot of it came from sort of other animated shows. The main one being the Ricky Gervais show. And the idea was from years and years and years ago, he had all these podcasts that were very popular. And then years later, they turned them into animation and into an actual show. And for years and years, I'd listened to all these wrestling podcasts and shoot interviews and all this sort of stuff. And so much of it just gets left in the past, especially with podcasts. Most people don't go back and listen to like old podcasts. So I knew that I could breathe like new life into some of this dead media by changing it into something else. And I taught myself how to animate, and just sort of did the best I can, tested it out a couple of times, and just started making videos from there. Yeah, it's all stuff that I'm interested in, stuff I like doing, and yeah, it started off pretty well.
All right, help out the amateur who doesn't really know that much about this stuff and doesn't spend too much time on the internet to begin with. How much actual artistic drawing skill is required to do what you do to translate it to the internet look and vibe?
Um, I mean, enough. I wouldn't like I wouldn't consider myself a great artist. I've always loved drawing and creating things, but I mean, my style, I put it somewhere. I think originally I thought if South Park can bang out an episode a week, I could make a similar sort of cartoon at some point. Yeah, so I tried to go not quite as simple as South Park, not quite as complicated as The Simpsons, maybe somewhere in between. Yeah, and to be honest, there's no great secret to it. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of drawing, a lot of repetitive stuff, a lot of hoping my computer doesn't crash. And
So what is an average? So your stuff runs probably about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I'll just say, right. And first of all, for everybody out there everybody knows about it now, and it's fantastic. They're actually better to watch than the actual interview. That's how this is how good they are. But how much time and effort do you put into a 10-minute video?
Well, again, appreciate that. Um, so I mean, even where you saying a 10-minute video, I don't. I've maybe got one 10-minute video. I Just to give you an example, at the moment, I'm working on a video that's the longest I've ever done. It's 16 minutes long, and it's taken me about a month so far.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's in between. I mean, I work, but in between work and having a life and a wife and everything, I'm trying to put as much time as I can into it. So every day I'm, like a couple of hours or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it just takes forever, man. But there's certain videos as well. Like one of the biggest series that I've got is the Ultimate Warrior at Home with Warrior series. And some of those videos are like a minute long. Now, I could bang out a Warrior video in a day or two because it's all there. He sits there, not a lot happens. He'll move his head. The whole lip syncing thing is everything that gets said. You have to type it out. You have to sync it up. It's a long process, but yeah, there's certain things that I have in place where I can make shorter videos if I need to. But I'm currently on the longest break I've had from releasing a video because I try to go weekly, and as we stand at the moment, it's been nearly a month. So hopefully the long one pays off when it comes out.
Do these delays hurt your social media presence, right? Because you got to constantly be feeding the beast. And you're on TikTok, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're on X, right? It's like when you have a delay like that, does it affect you?
Yeah, I'd say it does. But you just got to see. It's not possible. At the end of the day, in terms of making the videos, I'm a one-man team. I don't have anyone else do anything. All I do have is that my friend is my TikTok guy. Shout out to Gareth. He does my TikTok. He clips it up and uploads it on there. So that's one thing that I don't have to worry about. But in terms of YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and all that, it kind of you know, there's a lull, and I know that you've got to be consistent, but like I say, for me to just try, if I'm trying new things, and I'm constantly trying new things, I'm trying to evolve the animation itself, the videos itself, even and the different places. Obviously, where I did the video with you guys was, you know, you were a new platform for me to work with, new characters and everything like that. So yeah, I think there's going to be delays. You know what I mean? And as I say, I don't do this full time, so some things you got to sacrifice, and as long as it doesn't go down, as long as our followers don't go down, you know, subscribers don't go down, and there's just a bit of a lull, I just know that, you know, there's going to be a spike again at some point.
So, is your life like mine, right? So you do this hard work, you're spending a month on this video, you're ready to go, you call the old lady over, you're like, honey, look at my work. What do you think? And does she go, what is this shit? I mean, that's what happens to me. I just want to know if that happens to you. This is what you're fucking wasting your time on right now?
I mean, it's
Jimmy, I think this might be happening to him. I think he's in my realm.
Well,
I think that
right
might
now,
actually be happening.
I think right now he's thinking to himself, "Is my mate going to be watching this broadcast?" That's what I think.
Eventually, maybe.
Probably
Probably not.
no. I mean, so I mean, to be honest, she's not a wrestling fan,
Right.
so she doesn't. You know, nothing none of the videos are going to mean much to her. She's not going to find certain things funny and all that. But no, I think she's definitely encouraging with it. You know, she's good. Like she likes it. She likes the fact that I'm doing it. You know, and appreciates the effort that I put into it. She's always, I'd say, suitably impressed, because at the end of the day, I can see it from you know, from somebody else's point of view. If somebody's into roller skating and they're doing something online to do with roller skating, and this is like a family or a friend, you know, and they show me, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's, you know, that's great, but I'm not going to be doing backflips over it, because I don't know why it's great. You know, it's hard to understand. But yeah, no, she encourages it. She's you know, she's not scoffing at the idea that I'm spending so much time doing it anyway.
Maybe roller derby. I don't know about roller skates. Roller
But
derby.
you know what? To this day, I don't even know what roller derby is.
I don't either. I just used to like when they'd skate around in circles and beat the crap out
You know
of
what it
each
is?
other.
It's fake wrestling on wheels. That's what it is.
Yeah, you know what? It might
Is it
be,
really?
Mike. I think that you might be onto something. It
The
might be.
The only time I've ever heard of roller derby is reading like different wrestlers' autobiographies and stuff. I'm pretty sure like Bob Holly was into roller derby, and who else likes it? Like a lot of them, they're growing up and they're like, "Oh, big roller derby fan." I'm like, what? Like we never had it over here, as far as I know.
You know, I want to know how Rib got into wrestling, but I got to ask you, right? So here you are, you're building this new part of media, which I think every fan enjoys, right? So you are taking other people's videos, which is cool as shit, right? It's fine. I mean, who would ever argue with that? But you know, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, and I want the fans to hear when you first got into it, what you did to start off, and then what eventually happened to you.
The crash.
Yes.
So yeah, so I started off. I just came up with the idea, and as far as I know, and to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, what I'm doing legally should mean that I could technically use anything I want, because copyright it's a bit shaky, but you know, transformative content, if it's clear that you are transforming one thing into another, you wouldn't think people could argue with that. So I'm taking videos, the audio, sorry, and I'm editing the audio, and I'm creating a cartoon, I'm creating a video out of it. So I'm completely transforming it. So yeah, when I started the first few videos, I think it was a few months. I think it was October I started, and then around February it started to go off. It was going well, and then yeah, I got hit with a copyright strike on one of my videos, and then it panicked me a little bit.
Well,
And
let me stop you there. What video was it, and who hit you with the strike?
okay, so it was. I'm trying to think of the exact one. It was Hulk Hogan,
Mm.
and Hulk Hogan. I believe it was Hulk Hogan talking about the Ultimate Warrior, and it was from the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Um, so yeah, he like basically I just got this strike out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, what's going on? Um, and then it turned out that I'd gone back and I'd actually got an email from Bubba to say, uh, you know, I like your stuff. Like, let's do some videos or whatever. And I wasn't really checking the email at the time. It was a new email address that I'd made just for the channel. So I missed this. And then next thing I know, he just gave me a copyright strike. And I tried to get him to take it back. Uh, Never heard back from him. And then I would say about a week later, I got another one. And this time it was from uh, Brian Last, Jim Cornette's guy. Yeah, for using a clip from Jim Cornette from about, I think it was about 15 years ago. Jim Cornette talking about Shawn Michaels. I made a short, which, as you guys know, is not even something you do to make money off. It's just
Right.
like just a bit of content to put out there. Made a quick short. Didn't really think much of it. And yeah, and then so I was on 2 strikes, and worried about losing the channel altogether. So I ended up pulling all my videos down, bar maybe 1 or 2 that I had left up there. Yeah, man, and everything just stopped for ages. So that was the crash. Not for age. I mean, for a little while.
What?
That had to be quite disappointing for you, though, right?
Oh, it was devastating at the time, to be honest, because I had done one video. It was the CM Punk video on Ryback, because it's still the biggest viewed video I got, and the views were just going up and up and up, and more. Like, my subscribers are going up, and I was just getting all this momentum for the proper momentum for the first time, and just these, one strike, bang, another strike, bang, and then just just killed it all. And obviously, I took all my videos down because now I'm thinking if I get a third strike, I lose my channel. So I can't risk another strike. So I ended up having about 2 videos left. All the other ones taken down, and then so obviously the views go down. I just got monetized as well, so you're getting paid something, and then all of a sudden that's gone. You're getting 20 cents a day or whatever after a while, because I've got no content for anyone
Right.
to watch.
Mm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought, oh, that's the end of it, and then I have to just sort of find a way to navigate back, plus ride out the, is it 90-day thing that you get before those strikes are wiped off your
Well,
record?
and the bigger thing is they make sure it doesn't hit the algorithm. So if YouTube's your main source for what you're doing, there's other sources, everybody, but a lot of people use YouTube is one of the great payers. But Jimmy, here's a quick thing. So what we have here is Bubba Love Sponge reaches out to Rib, says, "Hey man, love your work. Let's do something." Rib, by whatever reason, doesn't check his email, so it's instead, understandably, and then Bubba gets pissed off, so then he hits him with a strike because he can't handle it that the great Bubba the Love Sponge doesn't get answered by Rib. Then we got Brian Last, that douchebag, who Jim Cornette and Brian Last make so much money off that fucking channel. And here's a guy, because I don't know, Jimmy, weigh in on this. This isn't a money grab. This is almost like an homage to people's videos. I just find something wrong with this, Jimmy.
Okay.
Really.
What I think is a whole bunch of things. First of all, you are correct about Bubba the Love Sponge. Second of all, you are correct about the Cornet situation with how much money they make. And let me throw this in real fast before I get my question out to everybody in the room. I learned last night that Gene Simmons is worth $400 million. Paul Stanley is worth $200 million. and Ace Frehley died being worth $1 million. So, are there fucking snakes out there that you can't trust fucking at all who don't understand anything? Yep, they're out there. Now, what I want to ask everybody in the room, what is the legal line? Because, Mike, I think you're pointing out what I was thinking the whole time Rib is telling us his personal horror story. This is parody. What he is doing is parody. He calls it transformation. Listen, there's different terms for this, but in my heart, as an artist, I look at this as an awesome thing of parody. He's taking an audio, if I'm understanding this correctly, he's applying it to art, and he's transforming it into what I think is a very honorable parody of something. Now, if parody is going over the line, wouldn't that mean that every SNL skit is under the threat of lawsuit? Anyone who's ever done imitations is under the threat of. I don't understand this, Mike.
So
Can you help me out?
here lies a problem, and then I want to get back to Rib because there's so much more to talk about. I think when you're a Joe Rogan or a Megyn Kelly, right?
Yeah.
You can play whatever the fuck you want. YouTube is not going to hit you with a copyright strike.
Right.
Us, Rib, some other ones, we're not, we're not making YouTube millions of dollars or whatever it is, right? We're just growing
It's
channels.
the big fish rubbing the big fish.
Right, exactly. So,
I got it.
Again, I had thought that when Rib got hit with these strikes, he actually could afford it. Now, in our first channel, me and Jimmy lost our first channel. We were suspended a record, I think 7 times, Jimmy,
Something
on the
like
first
that.
channel, right?
Yeah, we're bad boys. We know
Right?
that already. Go on.
We lost our channel. But of those 7 suspensions, we literally won a couple of the copyright strikes.
Yeah, we
right?
did. We did.
On this channel, in fact, our anniversary just came up. It's only 3 years, Jimmy, for this channel.
Correct.
Hannibal hit us with a strike. And
Correct.
we had an agreement with Hannibal in writing, right?
Yes,
and
we
he
did.
used our
We did
shit,
have
we
an
used
agreement
his
with
shit,
Hannibal.
and it didn't do
I know
shit.
that.
But anyway, the
No.
point is, what
No.
are you doing now, Rib, to protect yourself?
Right. How do you did you try to make a case for yourself that this is parody? Well, maybe you don't like that word. I don't know how you feel about that word. I think it's a great word. I think it's an homage. Imitation is the best form of flattery. You're not imitating. You're taking something in that form and turning it into something else. But I was flattered when I saw your work. If you understand what I'm trying to say to you. So what do you think about that whole? How did you? Are you going to ever fight this? You got to be allowed to do your art. You have to be allowed.
Yeah, I mean, again, like that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I would say it's parody. It's just like it is. It's a bit of fun, and also, I think when I first started, I was just like, there's no way anyone's gonna argue with the fact that I'm taking this old media that, for the most part, people haven't heard in years or may have never heard. And I'm actually giving it a bit of life and giving it a bit of shine to where it's coming from. And I think I just thought nobody's going to have a problem with that. So what I did after that happened to me, like I was like, okay, the only option I've got is to see if I can get somebody to let me use their stuff. So I just started pinging out emails. I just emailed everyone I could. That I could think of, after I'd emailed Bubba the Love Sponge and Brian Last and asked them if they could remove the strike. And
did Brian Last even answer you?
No, neither of them did. But and then I mean, the thing is, I even said like, look, I'll take the video down and I'll never use your stuff to make a video again. But just don't give me a strike. Like, from what I'd heard as well, I'm kind of new to YouTube, using it anyway at the time, and from what I'd heard, like, it's bad enough to get a takedown request, but for someone to just hit you with a strike is like pretty malicious. You know what I mean? I've got these 2 guys doing it like almost within the span of a week. I was like, this is unnecessary. Like, it's not necessary, right? If you want to give me a takedown request, I'll take it down. That's fine. I've learnt my lesson. I won't use your stuff again. But yeah, I mean, there was nothing malicious in it. I'm not trying to steal his content. I was just trying to use a short clip. But yeah, either way, I still understand it's not mine to use. So let me just reach out to people. So yeah, I just started emailing as many people as I could find email addresses for, of stuff that I wanted to use. And luckily, it was one of the first people to get back to me was Chris Van Vliet, and he said, "Just go ahead, use what you want." I was like, "Oh, wow, thanks." Like, you know, and I've gone on there, and you know, he's interviewed almost everyone.
Yeah.
So I was just like, "That's brilliant." So, and I just started making videos with his stuff, and yeah, I got a few more like High Spots let me use their stuff, and I was like, "Wow, like that's." Going back, like I think their videos go back nearly 20 years now. So it's like
How
cool.
about RF Video? Did you ever reach out to them?
I did reach out to RF Video. I'd still
Or
like to reach out to RF Video just because they've got there's so many I know just off the the top of my head. I can think I've seen that, I've seen this. Like they've got shoot interviews with everyone. They've got interviews as well that are on other people's YouTube channels. That say if I can use High Spot's YouTube channel and I find a video, but it's actually an RF video. So I've reached out to is it Feinstein?
It's so funny. As I said RF Video, I realized RF Video stands for Rob Feinstein. So it's Rob
Yeah,
Feinstein.
Rob Feinstein. Yeah, yeah. So I reached out to him on Facebook, and he got back to me at first. He said he was like I could kind of I think pay him for videos or so. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I haven't heard back from him since. But the two that older ones that I wanted to get were RF Video and Sean Oliver, because of the U shoot stuff. That's always like crazy. And again, I was like, I've seen so many of them, plus all the other shoot interviews he does and stuff. Like it's just got a lot of content.
So what did Mr. Oliver say to you?
I haven't spoke to Mr. Oliver either. I've spoke to a guy who I think works with him. But I mean, the thing is as well is that a lot of people I think who have YouTube, they're like, why would I let you use my stuff for nothing? And I do get that. Like, if someone wants to kind of not give away their content, and that's fine. And but there's certain content out there as well that I see that a lot of other people use. They'll say, like just for example, like the Sean Oliver, like there's so many YouTube channels that just post those interviews on their YouTube channel, but
I don't
because of
know
what
how they
happened to
get. I
me,
don't even know how they get away with that. Right? They take it off their
Yep.
phone. They do. I don't even know. Like that. You're right. They're all stealing each other's stuff, and nothing's getting done about it.
well, I think if somebody doesn't, if they're not going to go and ask these people to take it down or give them a strike or whatever, then they're just going to get away with it. But I think because of what happened to me, it's just not worth the risk.
No,
I'm
it's
just
not.
not gonna,
It's not because you have plenty of. There's plenty of stuff out there, right?
Mm.
Did you reach out to our boy Hannibal? Did Hannibal respond back to you?
Yeah, I actually spoke to Hannibal a couple of weeks ago. Just messaged him, and yeah, he said I can use his stuff. And again, Hannibal's another guy. He's interviewed, and like you guys too. Like and I found you guys recently, and all the people that you've interviewed as well. I was like, wow, and I don't know if I told you this before, Mike, but when I first saw your guys' show, I was like, wow, these guys are like, they're proper like, I don't know, New York. Are you from New York?
We are.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Of course, Long Island. Yeah, yeah. Okay, proper New Yorkers is what I was going to say. I didn't want to say it if I didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, so I was like, these guys are like proper New Yorkers. Like you can see them like having some great stuff. I wonder if they've got any interviews, because for my sort of content, you need to. I want to have like a wrestler or something involved
Right.
in it. Gone back and you got and not only have you got all these interviews with $1 Million Man, Tony Atlas, and Scott Hall, and like all these people, like for years as well. But it's also the same sort of setting as to why I started using the Bubba the Love Sponge stuff. I was like, I need to find like a radio show out there that has wrestlers on, that's kind of raw, that's like it's like old school, and that's what you guys are. So I was like, oh man, like if I could start using these videos, that'd be great. And then you said I could. So
You could use whatever you want. Listen, Rip, I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
How do you get into pro wrestling? How does it all start for you?
I started just as I mean I think I've like as far as I can remember, to be honest. I grew up like a huge Hulk Hogan fan. I was like a Hulkamaniac from a little kid. In England, it wasn't, you had to have Sky TV to watch wrestling, but they were very good at branding back then, like in the golden era. So everything, like the people, there were the toys. Um, People had WWF backpacks and T-shirts and stuff like that, and I just grew up a big Hulk Hogan fan. Loved the whole the golden era of wrestling from like the late start of the late 80s and through the 90s, and then I think I got to a certain age and I grew out of it a little bit. I think I was about 9 or something like that, and I was just like, you know what it was? It was around sometime in '95, end of '95. I'd stopped watching, and a lot of that was to do with the fact that Hulk Hogan had left. I think because I was such a Hulk Hogan fan. Once he'd gone, I was then like a massive Bret Hart fan, but the WWF was just, it kind of spiraled downwards. It was less popular. There weren't as many stars, no big guys and all that anymore, and it just wasn't quite the same thing. And then I started watching again, kind of in the middle of the Attitude Era, but around '98, and just watched it ever since, man.
Mike, I'm realizing too. I'm sorry. We are talking to a cartoon. Does that cartoons age? Do you like draw yourself progressively through the sands of time? I mean, I didn't realize that cartoons age and stuff like, from the age of 9. So,
And also, that's a really good question, Jimmy. And I also have to ask, is your wife a cartoon?
Well, so I'll answer the first question first. I don't age. No, I was born like this, which is very difficult.
Why would you be born like a 40-something-year-old? What are you doing?
a 9-year-old
I
with
mean,
a beard.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well,
It's great. I like
I
it.
mean, first of all right, I'm not 40. Not
All
yet.
right, I know you're 30-something. But why wouldn't you be born? Why wouldn't you be born
The
a cartoon like
cartoon is mad
Brad,
at you,
like
Mike.
Brad
You better
Pitt?
watch it.
Not that you're not a good-looking guy, dude. I'm just saying, if
Well,
I
it's
could be a cartoon, I'd be like Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
No, I mean,
Oy.
we come in all different shapes and sizes. But no, look, I mean, I'm a cartoon that was born with a beard.
With a beard.
Never had hair.
and from the UK. Like, why would you choose the UK as a cartoon? Why wouldn't you like
Why
New
not?
York?
I love the UK.
I think if you track back the lineage, all cartoons are originally from the UK.
Damn, you
Yes,
guys are always
where they were born.
claiming you made spaghetti too, right? You guys claim everything in the
Wait a
world. You
second.
made spaghetti.
I mean, I'm don't
they
get
make
me started on where spaghetti came from.
I didn't even realize they made that claim. Wait a second. You guys are taking
They invented
responsibility?
electricity. I mean, they did everything.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
the moon.
Oh boy.
You're the first people on the moon.
We gave birth to the moon. We created the moon.
Yeah,
But,
you created humans. You created. You're the
one-
genesis of the
moon
world.
was one of your
Yeah.
colonies back in the day. Everybody knows that. Come on.
Like, yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
but seriously, when you're born looking like this, you have a difficult childhood. It's fine in the end, but as you get older, you're winning because you never kind of
You never age.
yeah, you don't really wrinkle.
Mike, we should be a lot we should be a lot nicer to him because I was going to ask him, can you permanently draw me to be 27 years old, please?
Jimmy, I got to tell you that one video he put out, which is fantastic. You are a little chubby. You need to go on a diet. Your cartoon character
why
needs
did
to
you make
diet
me
up.
that? Wait a sec. Yeah, why did you make me so fat? I'm fat. It doesn't make
Well-
sense. He's in shape and I'm chubby. What's going on here?
I mean,
Man.
I've got bad news for you, Jimmy, as well. And I don't mean to be rude. This is the first time I'm meeting you, but
You better be nice.
your cartoon is an American cartoons, and American cartoons do age. So the videos you're going to get progressively worse. I'm afraid.
Jimmy,
Oh,
damn.
man. That's
The next
rough.
one, the next one you're going to look about 75, and you put on a bit of weight.
Wow.
You're gonna look like some podcaster I know, Jimmy.
Oh, That's great.
No,
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
I'll work on that. I did hear your criticism of that last time. Yeah, like I say, I never claimed to be a great artist, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Are you
Listen, Rip.
kidding me? I think it's
I thought
hilarious. I think
you
it's great.
captured the essence of the Pharaoh. I
I
thought
think
it
it's
was
great.
perfect.
I think it's great. Plus, you gave me material to bitch about. I'm a New Yorker. That was perfect. You know, make me
Exactly,
75. Yeah, make me
exactly.
75.
I thought if you're not interested otherwise, then let me at least give you something to complain about.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
you go.
So,
There you
Rip,
go.
being a wrestling fan, I want to ask you a few questions because I want to know what you think about all these situations. I'm going to open up
Right,
with this one.
right.
Fans that think that Chris Benoit was innocent
Oh,
and Vince
no.
McMahon and Kevin Sullivan set him up. I think Rip might be one of those guys, Jimmy. I'm not so sure. Hold on.
What that thinks?
He 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 could just be tiptoeing around the fact that anytime you mention Chris Benoit, everybody goes nuclear. But that's okay. Go ahead,
I mean,
Rip.
yeah, no. I mean, you're talking to a guy that just told you that that we created the moon in the UK, so you know that I can
Right.
believe a lot of things.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
so sorry that the Chris Benoit was innocent, and the Vince McMahon and Kevin Sullivan set him up.
Right, and had him and actually murdered him and
Well,
killed his wife and child. I mean, that's what a lot of wrestling fans think. If you go on
no,
this last video we just did with Johnny the Bull, we talked
Yeah.
yeah,
about it, and
Went
he
nuclear.
basically thinks that Nancy Benoit cheated on Chris, and Chris got all freaked out and killed her on accident, and ended up killing his kid because whatever. The fans
right.
on our channel like Benoit was set up. He blah. It's like it's the ratio used to be like 80 or 90-10. Benoit's a murderer. I think it's moved to like 60-40 at this point, that Chris Benoit's innocent and he was set up.
Um, okay, so I remember hearing about it. I remember hearing that some this is wow. I remember hearing that someone said that um Kevin Sullivan had something to do with Chris Benoit's murder because obviously he was married to Nancy before, right? Yeah, I mean, no, that's. I mean, I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to say other than no. I mean, well, where's the evidence as well? You know what it is. You know what it is. This is one of the problems with the internet, and I love the internet. Right, the internet's great. All right, technically, I was born on the internet. Okay, I am the internet, but if you spend enough time on the internet, you'll find a conspiracy theory for anything. And I think maybe when it comes to wrestling, there's only a handful of proper conspiracy theories, and maybe that's one that people like to dive into. But I mean, where are you getting it from? Like that's crazy.
All right,
Did
how
you know
about
that?
go ahead.
I was going to say that I read not long ago Bob Holly's book that Bob Holly was supposed to go round to see Chris that night. The Chris Benoit called him and said like, "Come round," like because he was having an argument with Nancy.
Didn't Holly claim that he felt like Benoit was going to kill him if he went there?
No, he said in his book that he was like, I'm pretty sure he says in his book that I was like too tired, so I didn't go around or whatever. And then the next day, he killed them. But yeah, no, but yeah, just going back to the thing, I have no evidence of anything, but from what I do know is that there's nothing to prove that what actually happened didn't happen.
All right,
Yeah.
how about this one? Now, this video, guys, will be posted later on. So this might be old news by the time it comes, but I do think it's important. So we have a true artist, like Jimmy's a musical artist. This Rib is a fantastic animator. But Jimmy and I were at the big event last week, and the big event's a big deal in New York. We had a table with ESS Eric Sims. And Jimmy and I were walking by, and I think we had taken a picture with Taz. Long story short, there's this kid in line, and he has a tank top with a CM Punk. His arms were literally the size of my finger, I think. And I turned to Jimmy, and this is a true story. I go, there's the future Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Because this kid looked like a freak. Well, just the last 2 days, this kid took his picture with AJ Lee and created an AI video. and it's all the wrestling talk. So I'm going to pop it up. I want you both to weigh in on this. As he put it on X, and AJ Lee got really offended and said, "This is disrespectful. Take it down." And now Jimmy will weigh on this too. AJ Lee had about 3,000 people waiting in line for her, and Jimmy was in shock. So I'm sure this kid will probably either bury himself somewhere or whatever, because I'm sure he's getting killed. But, first of all, come on. There's no way. No, but Jimmy, they actually kiss on the lips in the video too. This is just one picture, right?
Holy
But I mean, look at this kid, man. This kid,
pepperoni forehead.
this kid couldn't get laid. This kid couldn't get laid ever. You know what I mean?
Those teeth are hot. What are you talking about?
So what are you guys thinking about the usage of AI?
He doesn't feel well. Look, the cartoon is nauseous. Look at this.
Bro, what does CM Punk think about that? Imagine you see, like, that's, I mean, to be honest, right, with AI, I feel bad for AJ Lee. Obviously, it's couldn't have happened with a more attractive guy. But what, like, the problem with AI is that it's with the thumbs up. Did he AI in the thumbs up?
I guess so. First of all, it is a bit funny. I mean, do we have to take everything so seriously? Like, in reality, if you saw that picture or video and AJ Lee didn't react to it, did anyone in their right mind think that there was even the remote? In fact, I'm going to even go on the level here. Chris Benoit being innocent has more of a chance than this kid kissing AJ Lee. Okay, let's be honest.
You've got a point. Or I mean, if you change that around, if you said of AJ Lee kissing him, because,
yeah, right. Yeah, yep, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! Look, he's not even that.
Look at those arms. Look at those arms. But go ahead, Rip.
Oh, yeah, that guy is jacked. What?
He's not. He's jilled.
Wow. That is a malnourished stud right there.
Mike, you had it right though with the Dahmer comment, because honestly, if I saw that happening to like me or something, where somebody did say, he's creepy, dude. He really is creepy. There's something off. Like when you look at somebody, look, I'm not pretending to be some sort of like I know everything or anything, but you can usually like even look at somebody and be like, ooh, he's giving off a creep factor. So I think that's what you probably felt when you said there's the future Jeffrey Dahmer.
It might be his eyeliner. He's got like eyeliner on.
It's creepy,
well.
man.
Creepy guy.
I'd be very creeped out by it.
I think the like AI is. I think as soon as it became like open AI, and it was just where people could just make pictures, you're like, okay, it's getting better every day, and at some point it's going to get out of hand. And they said that at some point you won't be able to know who you're talking to until you're talking to them in real life. And I mean, we're almost at that stage, right?
Rip, you're younger than us, but way back, the Schwarzenegger movie Running Man. Right, he ends up getting put in the Running Man because they have this video of him killing all these people on the street. He was whatever in the military.
Yeah,
that's where we're going to go. There'll be a point where the government can make a video of you murdering someone, and you're just going to be, no one will be able to tell the difference.
Well, yeah.
I
mean, that's it. Like, I mean, technology, like, to sort of combat that sort of thing is going to have to start going at the same sort of rate, because I'm not sure if there's any sort of stopping it, like it's taken off. Like at the end of the day, there's a lot of things it's going to do that's good. But there's a lot of things it's going to do that's bad. But then there's a lot of just hands it's going to get into. Like, who's this guy? Like, I mean, I don't know if he's, like a super intelligent guy. Maybe he is, but he seems just like some random wrestling fan that's got, I don't know, an app or a little program that he can use.
He's probably in his one-room apartment going, I just spent my whole yearly salary on AJ Lee, and now I'm going to make a video, and everybody's going to think she's my girlfriend.
Going to get my money's worth, man. That guy's got his money's worth. He's created a program.
I mean, again, unbelievable. Like, it's just like, dude, there's no chance in hell anyone's gonna fall in for this.
But the thing is as well though, is this is the first time I've seen this. Like the first time I've seen this within the wrestling world, right? Like a wrestling fan makes a video, make it look like a wrestler's done something with them. Like he's probably just going to be the first in the line of many. Like if
It'll
you
be
look
out of
on,
control. It'll be out of
yeah,
control.
if you go on Twitter, if you go on X, you see that most of the wrestling community on that app is just people arguing with each other, people trolling, people whining each other. It's just people slinging hate at each other. It's all people that love AEW and people that love WWE just talking about how much they hate the other side, or our company's better. It's just tribalism and anger, just aimlessly
But
thrown all over the place.
here's the funny thing about it. Me and Jimmy laugh because when we were younger, it's like, do you think the WWE or AEW care? Like, they're a bunch of millionaires doing whatever, and people are fighting over who's better. Who gives a shit? It's fake wrestling. Let's get to the facts here.
Well, do the companies care about people arguing on Twitter?
Well, they don't care about you, right? They don't care what happens to you. They don't care what happens to me. They don't care what happens to Jimmy.
You
Okay?
can break it down. You can break it down even further. The ones who made Jim Cornette wealthy are in this room. We're called fans. And what does he do? He bangs this poor man because he's trying to do art.
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at?
Fair, I would say it was more to do with Brian Last blanketly just shutting down anyone that uses any of their content. I'm not sure that.
Yeah, but
Jim
responsibility, and
Cornette
we've
knows
covered this a
about
lot on the show. It
violations
still
on YouTube.
starts at the top, right, Mike? It still does. It starts at the top.
Well,
So
you know what is, you should, Rib, you should actually feel vindicated, because if they didn't fear you, they just would have left. Who cares? They would have left it alone.
Right.
But
That's
they
true.
don't want you stepping into the door, right? Because the more
That's
popular
true.
you become, the more
That's
issues,
true.
then they start to lose their fan base, right? And
We've
let's
seen-
be
we've
honest,
seen this.
instead of watching a Jim Cornette conversation with Brian Last on a still photo, when you put it on a animation, people much rather watch that, right?
Rather watch that. Yep.
Yeah,
It is.
I
They don't
mean,
want to let anybody in the door.
I think that's kind of the case with it. Like, I mean, with everything really, like people gatekeep, and especially when it comes to
And it's
the
bullshit.
wrestling business. This way, I've got I've got an account on Twitter. I very rarely give my opinion. In fact, my videos in general are not opinion based. I might make the odd person look stupid or something like that, but there's no like I don't get involved like with all the dirt sheets and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like I'm just not. I mean, I'll have a look at it. I'll see them arguing and all that. But like they all, you see them all going at each other, and there's a hierarchy. Do you know what I mean? You've got, like, as far as the dirt sheets go, you've got the top like 5 or 6, and then you've got the ones that they're friends with underneath them, and you've got everyone else underneath that.
Yeah,
and
there's tiers. There's definitely tiers, right?
There's
Yeah.
100% there's tiers, and there's good ones and there's evil ones. I see some of them I've only ever seen negative stuff from, and I'm like, I don't even think this guy likes wrestling. Like, what's he doing with his time? Like, and then it's like, how do you end up making a living off of giving an opinion on something that you don't even like? Like, I don't understand that at all. And then others, just they're pumping out news like it's kind of headline news, but it's the latest.
Well, now that you brought this in, now I got to ask your opinion of this, right?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I have to now because, yeah, I actually value your opinion, sir. How about that? You've won me over.
I appreciate it.
I go, you don't want to be controversial. I know the English, or like the Swiss, kind of stay neutral the whole time.
Well,
but
I'm an English cartoon. We don't get drafted to wars.
What do you think about these wrestling reactors, like just watching the matches with hundreds and hundreds of people. What? I mean, what is this about? Rip?
Okay,
Please
so
explain.
I think right. I've got a bit of a different opinion on this, I reckon, than you guys have. This might be because I'm younger. I'm not sure, right? So there's different levels to this because there's a few of these that I will watch myself, but probably none of the ones that you've heard of. In fact, like there's a few guys I know that do a show that watch they watch like older WrestleManias and stuff. They go back through all the old like 90s stuff and they just watch it and they'll sit around and they'll kind of give their opinion on it. You know what I mean? But then there's these ones that are like, oh my god, I can't believe thingy's
Or at
back.
some points they'll just sit there and watch the show, and they say literally nothing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
So,
what is this?
well, so so some like a lot of the reason for this because you have this right with football. If you watch football, most games, and especially I know it's different there in England. At 3 o'clock on a Saturday, you can't show football matches on TV. And that's where most of the games are. But there's a deal that they have with the stadiums that you can't broadcast these games because they don't want to stop people going and paying for tickets and going.
Yeah, smart.
So, yeah. But that's always been the case. Like my whole life, like you can't legally watch football at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. All the games that are on, you can't watch them. But on YouTube, you have people commenting on the games. Like sometimes they'll be on the radio. You can listen to them on the radio, or you go on YouTube and there's certain channels like that. You want to watch the Tottenham game, go to one of these Tottenham channels. A couple of guys sitting there and they're giving you commentary on the game. So what these people on YouTube give you is alternative commentary or watch along commentary to.
Are they showing the game though? Like these
No.
watch alongs, sometimes they'll show the screen.
But
and I thought to myself, maybe the
Not allowed.
AEW and the WWE want them to do that because it helps them also. I don't know.
Wants them to show the match.
Yeah, I mean they don't show it in its full, but they'll pop it up and you'll see a little bit, and then they bring it back down. Again, the rules. I don't know what the rules are.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. There was one actually not too long ago where TNA allowed certain people to play the actual content, and I think there's other ones. There's actually a few with the JCW, the Juggalo ones, where there's like people that watch the show and then they'll commentate on the show while the show's on the Juggalo channel. But I think a lot of it comes from Twitch, right? A lot of kids in the nowadays, they grow up, they want to be YouTubers or Twitch streamers. They want to be people that these are some of the most famous people in the world are people that just sit there and watch other stuff. They literally are. These are the rock stars. You know what I mean? Like when I grew up, you had Michael Jackson. These days, you've got like
dude
Kai
sitting in
Cenat.
his
You got Wheezy, right? Whatever her name is, Blonde Wheezy.
Who's Blonde Wheezy?
I don't want to know.
This one, Blonde Wheezy. Hold on, this one. Hi, it's me, Blonde Wheezy. In fact, the WWE always, like when something happens, like when Cena turned bad, they'll like show her like reaction video.
You know what? You know what?
Wait, Mike. Put it back up, Mike. Put it back up.
All right, hold on. Go ahead.
Oh my God, it's Bailey.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Now I'm gonna defend Rib here. Come on, man. What the hell? But I will defend Rib at least in this case. It sounds to me like you're watching these guys out of necessity. Mike, picture we can't see the Yankees. They've been blacked out. Okay, we're gonna try to find any forum we can get to see what the hell's going on with the game.
Listen, I totally get that, Jimmy, and I totally get that. But
So I find that fascinating. Now, real quick, there is a YouTube channel called, I'll give them a plug because I think they're hilarious. It's a father and a son, Michael, and they're called the New York Jokes, and they watch the Jet games live on their couch, father and son. At one point, the son turned to the father recently and was like, "How could you do this to me? 54 years of this. I'm not falling into this trap. I'm only in my 20s. This stuff was amazing. But I watch it after the game. That's the whole principle of that channel. I don't understand why you'd want to watch
All
it
right.
live and watch, what was her name? Blonde Wheezy go, oh my God, it's Bailey.
I want to be respectful to Rib's time again. Rib, thanks for joining us, man. Thank you for this exclusive interview.
No problem.
I know you don't like the controversy, but I got one more for you.
Well, you've
Shelly
already gone
Martinez,
Christmas
friend
mode.
of the show, she'll be doing our Christmas party. But I mean, what's your evaluation of this host's makeup job? I mean, what is that all about?
Funny.
I mean,
Yeah,
you talk
gotta
about
get that
Broadway. I
in.
mean, someone give this lady a makeup course. I mean, what are you doing? Now, there's the beautiful Shelly Martinez, but then
Oh yeah.
there's Bozo
yeah.
the Clown interviewing her.
Oh jeez, that's rough.
Poor Rib. He's like, oh no. I
The
don't want
cartoon is
I
frozen.
don't
Is
want
the cartoon
I don't want to be
frozen?
pulled into these guys' mess.
Oh God.
It's good. Good luck to her.
Oh, safe.
Last question,
That's it.
Rib. Hulk Hogan passes away. You talked about what a great fan of you are his. As a fan
Yeah.
and as a human being, one, what was your reaction when Hulk Hogan said some off color comments that were ripped apart through social media? And then secondary, being a fan, growing up on him, watching him come out to California and get booed, and then at the tribute after the day he dies, wrestlers boycotting coming out to be part of that legend.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, when he said, I think one of the issues, right, was after Hulk Hogan's wrestling career, he was kind of too big to just be one of those people that works for the company. Like, he couldn't have been a commentator, he couldn't have been a trainer. He was at points he was just as big as the entire company, if not bigger. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's the main reason I became a fan. Do you know what I mean? Like, even on like, my wife lets me have that name of thing.
Jimmy,
He's
that's a cartoon holding a toy.
I
he's a
know.
Think about
cartoon.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a cartoon holding a cartoon toy, but it looks the same. Yeah, he he's when he said what he said. Well, when the whole thing come out, because before that it was the sex tape, but then for years before that it was the reality show. And things looking bad. And I don't know if the car crash and stuff was before that as well. So he had a lot of controversies building up, and it almost seemed like, who's his agent, who's the guy, who's the person advising him, because there was a lot of stuff that was it was starting to deplete a lot of people's idea of what he was, and it was a shame. It was a shame to see as such a big fan. So when the lawsuit happened and all that sort of stuff, you already had this thing of, I don't know. It's almost like you're just going, oh, don't embarrass yourself. Don't do something else, because at heart I'm still a big Hulk Hogan fan, but in a way it's like you don't want everyone else to think bad of him. So obviously that comes out, and you're like, oh, and I think it's just like you just feel a bit let down. You're like, oh man, like there's no defending it. It's like, well, that's a bad mistake. He's not gone out to publicly offend someone, but I suppose that's not the point. Like, you can blame the guy who filmed it, and trust me, I've got no problem blaming him. But I just think that yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's a shame, and there's people that didn't forgive him for it, and they're perfectly within their right to do so. I can't judge what other people think about it after it happened. But as a fan, I was let down. But he was still the same guy. He just did some shit that I didn't like, I suppose.
Thoughts
And
on a world that apologizes for Chris Benoit, but yet relentlessly hates on Hulk Hogan.
yeah, I mean that's quite wild. I mean, there's a. I wish I thought, because I remembered at the time. Okay, so you were saying about when he died. because I was on holiday at the time, and my friend texted me and he said, like, sorry to ruin your holiday, but Hulk Hogan just died. I was like, and it was like unbelievable that it happened. And I don't think I expected it, because it's, I don't know, like you say that again. I don't, you don't judge anyone for what they do or for how they feel about stuff. So I know that a lot of people got some stick for not saying anything online. There was like wrestlers that they're not giving tributes to people. Look, if someone dies that I don't like, or that I, was really against for whatever reason, I'm not going to say anything. It was the people bashing him afterwards. And um sorry, I just realised you were talking about when he came out on Netflix. That was got my timelines wrong. That's obviously before he died. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, when he got booed at the Netflix thing, it was, I just felt sad for him, to be honest. And I felt sad just for the situation. You just feel let down, and also though it was kind of a bad move, because from what I hear, he's not likely to get cheered in everywhere's so political nowadays, and and politics are of, especially, well, in America, like, and online, and amongst fan bases, politics are very polarizing, because all of a sudden everyone's into it, and it affects a lot of things, and people just become extreme in their views, to a point where, after all that happened with Hulk Hogan, he'd been cheered a lot of times. He'd come out to like massive applause and stuff. So years and years and years later, he was kind of like, where did it even come from? Where he was just suddenly getting like savagely booed again? It had to be
Well,
the affiliation with Trump, right?
well, I know Mike strongly thinks that had a lot to do with it, and he wouldn't be wrong to think that. But I also feel like the next wrestling generation came in, never saw really anything of Hulk Hogan, and decided to judge him because that's what the internet does nowadays. That's
You
my
could be
take,
right
Mike.
there.
You know.
I can't disagree with either one of you guys. And
Well,
again,
I think I mean, I think you could be right. I mean, and again, at the end of the day, it's just a shame, isn't it? Like Hulk Hogan would have been looked at as, like, you make a list of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He was always on that list at the top.
mm,
Like, when I was growing up, and I know, like, obviously generations before me, there were different guys. But for a long time, it was like, there's no debate. It's Hulk Hogan. He's the biggest wrestler in the world. Everyone knows it. People who don't know wrestling know Hulk Hogan. He's at the top. You see people talking about it online now. People will give a list of their top 10 wrestlers, and he's nowhere in there. And it's just a shame, because of what it all did to his legacy. And um, what can you do? Like, you can't go around sort of analyzing everyone's opinion of it. You just have to look at the situation for what it is. And unfortunately, it's hard to say he brought it on himself, because he didn't put it out there, but it was put out there, and he said what he said. No matter whether you're seen saying it or not, people are going to have, you shouldn't, you shouldn't have done that. So, technically, it's hard to say that he's not to blame for it, because obviously he was. So it just so happens that a lot of people, as you said, are unforgiving in that kind of situation. But yeah, personally, it's a shame.
Rib, great answer. Where can people see you on social media? Where do they go?
YouTube. Go on my YouTube, watch a video, and then watch all the other videos, and then watch them all again. Like, comment, subscribe. It's youtube.com/@ribshot. Type in Ribshot Wrestling, something like that. It will come up. You'll see me. I'm a cartoon, and so are all my friends. And Instagram @Ribshot, @Ribshot Productions on Instagram, Ribshot Pro on X, I believe. But yeah, you just go YouTube. Oh, TikTok, excuse me. Rib_shot TikTok, and @Ribshot on YouTube. They're the main ones. Go to them. Hit me up.
Beautiful. Jimmy, you want to send us out?
You got it, bud. You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh with a cartoon. Which way am I pointing? I'll point both ways. Rip shot. Until next time. Later.